Hey everyone, Jeff Corwin here. I'm thrilled you're joining me today for an adventure that's close to my heart and full of surprises. Today we're setting out to explore one of my absolute favorite places on Earth, tide pools. These magical pockets along the shore are like nature's aquariums, brimming with life and mystery. But don't be fooled, these are no ordinary puddles. Each tide pool is a mini ocean, a bustling microcosm where countless marine creatures live, hunt, and hide. Every pool tells a wild story of survival and adaptation. Twice every day, as the tides ebb and flow, the ocean retreats and leaves behind these rocky basins. For the animals inside, their world suddenly shrinks, and life becomes a test of resilience. It's a high-stakes survival game. Imagine facing rapidly changing temperatures, the constant threat of drying out under the sun, and hungry predators lurking nearby, all in a space no bigger than your bathtub. Exploring a tide pool is like peering into a secret, ever-changing kingdom. With every visit, you step into a world that's both ancient and new, where the cast of characters is always shifting. No two visits are ever the same. One day, you might spot a nimble crab scuttling between rocks. The next, a vibrant sea star clinging to the tide pool wall. Sometimes you'll even catch a glimpse of a shy octopus or a darting fish. The best part? You get to see these incredible ocean creatures up close, all without ever needing to dive beneath the waves. It's like having a front row seat to the wonders of the sea. All you need is a sense of wonder, a little patience, and the right timing. Low tide is when these hidden worlds are revealed. Bring your curiosity, and maybe a friend or two, and you're ready for discovery. The best part is, this adventure is for everyone. You don't need fancy gear or special training, just a pair of sturdy shoes and a willingness to explore. Simply find a rocky shoreline and you're transformed into a marine biologist for the day. Every step reveals something new, from tiny snails to colorful anemones. Today, we're about to meet some of the toughest, most fascinating residents of these wild mini oceans. These creatures have adapted to thrive in one of the most challenging environments on the planet. So, let's get our feet wet, open our eyes wide, and dive into the extraordinary world of tide pools together. Adventure awaits just beyond the shoreline. Let's go explore. So, what exactly is a tide pool? At first glance, it might just look like a puddle left behind by the ocean, nestled among the rocks. But if you take a closer look, you'll discover that a tide pool is so much more than that. It's a rocky pool of seawater left behind when the tide goes out, forming a temporary window into the ocean's hidden world. These pools are scattered along the shoreline, each one unique in size, shape, and the life it holds. Each pool is a self-contained ecosystem, filled with real ocean water and tough marine animals. It's like a miniature ocean, teeming with life, where every creature plays a vital role in the balance of this tiny world. These creatures are stranded for hours, cut off from the open sea, but they've adapted to survive in this in-between world. Some burrow under rocks, others cling tightly to surfaces, all waiting for the tide's return. Unlike the stable deep ocean, tide pools are roller coasters. Temperatures and salt levels swing wildly. One moment the water is cool and salty, the next it's warm and briny, or even diluted by rain. Rain can dilute the water, making it less salty, while the sun can quickly evaporate it, leaving behind concentrated salt. And it's not just the elements. Predators can strike from land or sea, making survival a constant challenge. Only the most resilient animals thrive here. Anemones close up to conserve moisture, barnacles clamp down tight, and crabs scuttle for cover, all showing off their incredible survival skills. Tide pools are more than puddles. They're natural aquariums and survival arenas. Each visit reveals a new drama, with creatures hunting, hiding, and competing for space and food. Here, ocean rules are put on hold. Creatures must be masters of disguise and patience. Camouflage is key. Many animals blend perfectly with rocks and seaweed, making them nearly invisible to predators and prey alike. They cling to life, literally, waiting for the tide to return and reconnect them to the sea. Some, like mussels and starfish, can survive hours out of water, enduring the sun and wind until the ocean comes back. This daily cycle of separation and reunion makes tide pool life fascinating. Twice a day the ocean sweeps in, flooding the pools with fresh water and new nutrients, then retreats, leaving the inhabitants to fend for themselves once again. Every visit is a glimpse into a world of extremes, where only the most adaptable survive. Exploring a tide pool is like stepping into a living laboratory full of surprises and hidden wonders. It's a place where adaptation is everything, from creatures that can withstand drying out, To those that can handle sudden changes in temperature and salinity, every animal here is a master of survival. Let's see who calls these wild pools home. Get ready to meet some of the most fascinating and resilient creatures the ocean has to offer, all living together in these tiny, ever-changing worlds. Imagine being stuck in a tide pool, a small, rocky world left behind by the retreating ocean. The sun is shining, the water is calm, but you're surrounded by stone walls and shallow water. You can't just swim away to find food. So you might wonder, where's your next meal coming from? How do the creatures living here survive day after day in such a tiny, isolated space? For the animals and plants trapped in these pools, every meal is a matter of patience and timing. They can't hunt or forage far, so they rely on something much bigger than themselves. The answer is simple yet powerful: waves. Even at low tide, when the ocean seems far away, waves crash in, sending surges of water and nutrients right into the pool. Each wave is like a delivery truck, bringing fresh supplies to the residents waiting inside. With every surge, plankton, tiny plants and animals invisible to the naked eye, arrive in the water. These microscopic travelers are the main course for filter feeders like barnacles, mussels, and anemones. They stretch out their feathery arms or open their shells, catching food as it drifts by, turning the tide pool into a living buffet. It's a buffet on the rocks, with animals grabbing microscopic morsels as water washes over them. Some creatures are so well adapted, they can sense the slightest movement in the water, snapping up food before it even settles. But it's not just plankton. Waves also bring in bits of seaweed, broken shells, and organic debris, leftovers from the ocean's feast. For scavengers like crabs and snails, this is a treasure trove. They crawl over rocks and sift through the debris, finding meals in the most unexpected places. The constant churning of the water keeps food circulating, making sure that no one goes hungry. It's a never-ending cycle, with each wave stirring up the pool and mixing nutrients so every resident gets a chance to eat. Without waves, tide pools would quickly run out of resources, the water would become stagnant, food would disappear, and life would struggle to survive. The waves are the heartbeat of these tiny worlds. The surf isn't just beautiful to watch, it's the lifeblood of these mini ecosystems. Every splash, every surge brings new energy and new possibilities for survival. Waves power the food web, stir the pot, and keep the community thriving. They connect the tide pool to the vast ocean beyond, making sure that even the smallest creatures have a place at the table. Every crash is a dinner bell for the tide pool residents. You can almost see the excitement as animals come to life, ready to catch whatever the ocean brings. It's a wild, sometimes violent delivery service, but it's what keeps these worlds alive. The chaos of the waves is what makes life possible here, turning a simple pool of water into a thriving community. So next time you hear the surf or see waves crashing on the shore, remember, out in the tide pools, it's feeding time. The ocean is serving up dinner and every creature is ready for the feast. Where are the best tide pools in the US? The West Coast wins, hands down. From Washington to California, the Pacific's rocky shores are perfect for tide pools. Why? Tectonic activity creates rugged coastlines with endless cracks and basins. Powerful waves carve out natural pools, forming a mosaic of habitats. The Pacific's mixed semi-diurnal tides mean extra low tides, revealing hidden worlds. These minus tides expose deep pools and rare creatures. If you want the ultimate tide pooling adventure, head west. The wild, rocky Pacific coast is a treasure trove waiting to be explored. Look closely. Those shells on the rocks are alive. Mussels, limpets, and oysters are the super-glued crew of the tide pool. Mussels use byssal threads to anchor themselves, forming dense colonies that withstand pounding waves. Limpets, with their conical shells, clamp down with powerful suction and always return to their home spot. Oysters cement themselves to rocks or each other, building reef-like structures and filtering the water. All three are filter feeders, cleaning the water and providing shelter for smaller creatures. These animals are sessile. They stay put, letting the ocean bring food to them. Their strategy: don't move, just hold on and ride out the chaos. They're the foundation of the tide pool community. Adaptation is their secret weapon. In a world of crashing waves, they've mastered the art of survival. Their presence shapes the entire ecosystem. Let's meet some of their more mobile neighbors. Now for the tide pool celebrities, sea stars and sea urchins, the echinoderms. The ochre sea star with its bold colors is a top predator, prying open mussels and digesting them in place. The blood Henry sea star, a brilliant red or orange, is a secretive scavenger, often hiding in deeper pools. Short-spined sea urchins look like living pincushions, scraping algae off rocks with their unique mouths. They often camouflage themselves with shells and seaweed. Brittle stars with their slender snake-like arms are fast movers and can shed limbs to escape predators. You'll find them hiding under rocks, ready to make a quick getaway. These spiny-skinned animals are both predators and prey, shaping the tide pool's balance. Their unique adaptations make them some of the most fascinating residents. Let's look for another tide pool marvel, the sea anemone. Spot a bright green flower in the pool? That's a giant green sea anemone, an animal, not a plant. Its color comes from algae living inside its tissues. Those flowing tentacles are armed with stinging cells ready to paralyze prey. When exposed to air, anemones retract into jelly-like blobs and cover themselves for protection. Once submerged, they bloom again, ready to hunt. Some can live over 80 years, patiently waiting for food to come to them. They're the ultimate sit-and-wait predators, using beauty as a lure. Anemones add a splash of color and danger to the tide pool. Let's meet one of the weirdest tide pool giants next. Meet the sea hare, a giant squishy sea slug with rabbit ears and a knack for disguise. Sea hares glide over rocks, munching seaweed, and their color matches their diet for camouflage. If threatened, they release a cloud of purple ink to escape predators. Some, like the California sea hare, can grow up to 30 inches long. These gentle giants help control algae and are harmless to humans. Finding one is a tide pooling highlight. Their unique look and defense make them unforgettable. Sea hares prove the ocean is full of surprises. If you spot a big, slow-moving blob, you've found a peaceful, ink-squirting marvel. Now let's talk about how to explore tide pools responsibly. Tide pools let you get up close to amazing animals. Sometimes people create temporary aquariums on the beach. Fill a bucket with seawater, gently collect a few creatures, and observe their behaviors. Watch a hermit crab switch shells or a sea star's tube feet in action. It's a hands-on biology lesson, more exciting than any textbook. But remember, these aquariums are temporary. Tide pool creatures belong in their wild home, not in a bucket for long. Always return animals to the exact spot you found them. Responsible observation ensures these mini oceans stay healthy for everyone. Look, learn, admire, and let go. That's how we protect these magical worlds for future explorers. Thanks for joining me. See you at the next tide pool adventure.